All right, everybody. Welcome to the Ways and Means hearing for March 24th. We have 4 sponsor-only bills. We're hearing, the chair is here, but in a loud place, so she asked me to fill in a little bit and help run the meeting. So we will be starting today with our first sponsor-only hearing on SB 150. Senator Sidnor, go right ahead.
Thank you, Delegate. For the record, Charles Sidnor, Senate Bill 150, which in part you all heard and supported earlier. It was a cross file for House Bill 181 with a twist. So prior to it passing out of the Senate, you all may know this bill was pre-filed, and it was pre-filed because of an issue that had happened with Baltimore County School Board last December, where a sitting chair had received less than the majority of votes, but was, because of the way the rules were, was allowed to continue as the chair. So the bill was done and modeled after a Baltimore City law, which essentially said that if you get the majority of the votes for chair, you're the chair. The distinction between the bill that you all passed and my bill is, and this was something that had come up after we had filed the bill, this past December, during the elections of the vice chair, it ended up in a 6-6 tie. And honestly, up until that happened, I was not aware that we had an even number of board members on the school board. And to me, it didn't make sense that we had an even number. So it was a choice between removing one member or adding one member so that we could have an uneven number of members. And I thought it would be honestly much easier to add a member than to attempt to try to take a member off of a current sitting board. So we had, hopefully you had received the letter from the county executive. That particular appointed member would be appointed or go through the same process that gubernatorial appointments would be made, but rather than this being a governor's or gubernatorial appointment, it will be an appointment by our county executive. That's the sole difference between SB 150 and House Bill 181.
All right. Thank you, Senator Sidnor. Any questions from members of the committee? Delegate Long.
Thank you, thank you. Sorry about that. I was just running in. Question I have is, would you object to, instead of appointing one new member, to wait until the next election, or what's going to happen with the next election for school board members?
Well, this new member would be for the next go round.
So now, would they have to run for re-election until then?
It's an appointed position. It would be an appointed position. It doesn't affect those who are running for election.
All right, so I know we have a hybrid model. So there's going to be another school board member appointed. What's your thoughts as far as them running, for re-election or appointment to the school board?
I'm not sure I follow you, Delegate Long. Could you rephrase?
Yes, my concern, well, what I'm asking is, I know that you want to have one appointed now, but in 2022 or 2024, would that same member have to run for re-election? Will this school board member always be appointed by the county executive?
This member would be a member that would be, or a slot that would be appointed by the county executive, similar to the spots that are appointed by the governor.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Delegate Long. Delegate Ebersol?
To clarify, I think I understood the question. They wouldn't be appointed until the 2022 election cycle. And like other members, they would be appointed for 4 years. The other
Correct.
appointed members are the same. I think that was Delegate Long's question.
Got you. Thank you.
All
Yes,
right.
that was my question. Can I ask one more?
Go right ahead, Delegate Long.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how the school board's made up. I know it's a hybrid. We have so many appointed and so many runs for office, or runs for election to be on
Right.
the school board. What's this makeup right now?
So it's one member that's elected in each councilmatic district. So that's 7 members.
Right.
There's 1 student member and there's 4 appointed.
Okay, so it would make five, would it make
Yes, sir.
5 appointed?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right. Any further questions for Senator Sidnor? All right. Senator Sidnor, thank you very much. That concludes the hearing on Senate
Thank you for
Bill.
your time.
Absolutely. That concludes the hearing on Senate Bill 150. We'll turn now to Senate Bill 427. Senator Alfrith, go right ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader, and to the committee. Good to see everybody again 2 days in a row. I'm fortunate. I'm here to discuss and present Senate Bill 427, which is a bill that this committee heard. This is kind of a deja vu, heard and passed the House version of the bill, but there are some differences with the Senate. But this bill, really at the heart of it, is trying to address period poverty. As we all know, and this committee knows well, we're seeing as 2 economies emerge from this pandemic. We're seeing folks that had money before are doing okay, and folks that were living paycheck to paycheck are continuing to struggle to do so. And the result is that we're seeing a lot of families struggle to buy typical household products, including really necessary menstrual products for young people. I've been to many, and I'm sure everybody here has, many food distribution lines where pads and tampons go first, along with protein and milk, because they're hot commodities these days, particularly for families that just are struggling to keep a roof over their heads. So this bill tries to get at the heart of that, provide free menstrual products in public schools. The differences between the House and Senate version are a couple. The first is the Senate bill requires the installation of dispensers in 2 women's restrooms by 2022 for middle and high schools. We require the installation of dispensers in all women's rooms by 2025 for middle and high schools. We really, the reason of pushing the timeline back is so that we felt like the state should pick up the tab for the installation of the dispensers. And so we require that the state reimburse the local boards of education for the cost of purchasing and installing those dispensers. And thus we mandated spending at $325,000 in the fiscal year 23 budget to help with that installation. And lastly, we removed the requirement for dispensers to be placed in at least 1 elementary school restroom, and instead require all elementary school nurses to provide menstrual products to students at no cost. These are the amendments that passed, and the Senate passed the bill unanimously. I've already spoken to the House sponsor about the differences between the 2 bills, and we are very close to finding a solution between the 2. But of course, I look forward to working with this committee and seeing that this bill and both bills see success. So with that, Mr. Chair, I ask for a favorable report.
All right. Thank you, Senator Alfrith. Delegate Ebersol.
Quick question. I think our bill had provisions for men's restrooms also. Does yours still have that?
Yeah, no, the Senate decided to only do women's restrooms, and I know that that's a major policy difference between the 2 bills, and that's why the House sponsor and I had a good conversation this morning about that issue. So we're going to try our best to work that out. Thank you.
Thank you. Delegate Hornberger, I saw you raised your hand and then lowered it. Did that answer your question?
It did for the most part. With the cap on the funds, if you were to put back the dispensers in the men's room, wouldn't that basically take away from the amount of actual product because of the cost cap? In other words, you could put more of the product in if you had less of the dispensers.
So, Delegate, we anticipated a similar question, and I have the answer to that question, but not this. We anticipated the question about if we put the elementary schools back in, because we took those out. If we were to do that, the fiscal note on that in this fiscal year 23 would go from $325,000 to just over $500,000. We didn't calculate the men's rooms. I can get you that information though.
Okay. Yeah, just trying to see how far we can make the dollars go in terms of putting the actual product in people's hands. Okay, thank you.
And I'm sorry, just to be clear, Delegate, the Senate decided to pay for the purchasing of the dispensers and installation, but left the product to be paid for by the counties.
Okay, interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any further questions from members of the committee? If not, Thank you very much, Senator Frith. That concludes the hearing on Senate Bill 427. We will turn now to Senate Bill 448. Senator Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Senate Bill 448 is a cross-file with House Bill 72. Bill authorizes the County Board of Education to provide transportation for specified public school students in a vehicle other than a Type 1 or Type 2 school vehicle to and from school and other school-related activities. The Maryland State Department of Education must consult with county boards of education and the Motor Vehicle Administration to adopt rules and regulations to establish minimum vehicle and driver safety standards for alternative student transportations under the bill. This was brought to my attention, Mr. Chair, by people in Garrett County when they saw Delegate Anderson put the bill in. And I asked him, was all right to cross-file, and he graciously said yes. Just one quick example, since we're the furthest from the metropolitan area, a lot of the sports championships, high school championships are in the metropolitan area, particularly on sports like wrestling, where you might have 2 or 3 kids. The way it is now, they have to take a school bus, which costs a lot of money. This will allow them to use some other vehicle. That's just one example of a whole bunch of other ones. So it sunsets in 5 years if there's no further action. I've just saw the House bill had some amendments hooked to it. They look pretty good to me, so I'm okay with that. So I would ask for your support of Senate Bill 448.
All right, thank you, Senator. Any questions for Senator Edwards? Seeing none, that concludes the hearing on Senate Bill 448. Have a great day, Senator Edwards.
Thank you. Thank you all very much.
And our final bill for the hearing today is Senate Bill 432, and we have with us Patty Horton on behalf of Senator King. So, Ms. Horton, go ahead whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Delegate Lutke, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Senate Bill 432, which deals with electronic book licenses for public libraries, was, as amended, was an exact cross-file of House Bill 518. This committee added another amendment on which changed electronic book to electronic literary product. Both the House and Senate bills were unanimously passed by their respective chambers. Senator King sees no issue with the amendments that were put on by this committee. And so on behalf of Senator King, I respectfully request a favorable report on Senate Bill 432 with amendments.
Fantastic. Any questions on Senate Bill 432 from members of the committee? Hearing none, that concludes the hearing on Senate Bill 432, and that concludes our hearing for today, which may be a record. Subcommittee chairs, any announcements to make about upcoming meetings? I know Education's meeting. Delegate Barnes? Oh. Okay. Lost Delegate Barnes. Any other subcommittee chairs have announcements to make? All right, seeing none, that concludes the hearing for today. We have another hearing tomorrow. We will see everybody same bat time, same bat channel on Thursday. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye, everyone.